Brilliance Audio presents In the Shadow of the Storm by Ella Zeiss, translated by Helen McCormack, performed by Kathleen Gatty. 1930, German settlement on the Crimean Peninsula, Soviet Union. The loud roar of a car engine made Anna jump. No one in their village owned a car. The sound could mean only one thing. Filled with a dark sense of foreboding, she quickly wiped her hands on her long apron, covered in flour from kneading the bread, and ran over to the window. Sure enough, a truck was moving down the main village road. Sitting inside were 3 armed men from the People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs. Anna caught her breath. Even Ivo, who was playing with her building bricks in the corner, seemed to sense that something was wrong and grew very quiet. Worried, Erich looked up from his homework. "Mama?" "Shush." Begging for silence, Anna lifted her hand and held her breath until the truck had driven past their front door and she could let out a sigh of relief. Nervously, she watched it move on, then felt a huge block of ice in her stomach when the vehicle halted abruptly in front of the pastor's house. It was a bad sign. They heard shouts from outside. Apparently, the men were being denied entry. "Mama? What's going on?" Anxiously, Erich came over to her and tried to steal a glimpse out of the window. Ivo toddled over too and hugged her knee. Anna was shaking. She wrapped a woolen shawl around her shoulders and looked at the children uncertainly. Dare she step outside and interfere? She took a deep breath. Surely she'd be safe enough. The men were obviously after Father Friedrich this time. But what about Rita? She couldn't let the security militia take the pastor's small daughter with them as well and put her in an orphanage somewhere. She gazed seriously down at her son, and he looked back steadily with more knowledge in his eyes than an 8-year-old should rightly have. "Erich, you stay here with Ivo, do you understand?" He nodded haltingly. "And no matter what happens, stay inside the house." "Yes, Mama." He nodded again and bravely took hold of his little sister's hand. "Come on, Ivo, let's build a huge tower of bricks." Anna watched him gratefully for a moment and then slipped out of the house. She was just in time to see the door of the vicarage open and Friedrich Hamann step outside looking calm and composed. Quickly she hid behind a tree standing in the garden of the house next door. Anna's heart sank. Friedrich knew what was going to happen, and so did she. If he was lucky, he'd get 10 years in a Siberian labor camp. One of the men, seemingly the one in charge, grabbed Friedrich's arm roughly and started dragging him towards the truck. "What took so long? Trying to hide the evidence? It won't do you any good, you know. You were obviously up to something in there." Friedrich snatched his arm back with great dignity. "How can I destroy the evidence if I don't know what I'm supposed to have done?" "We can help you there," the man said, pulling an official-looking document from his bag. "Friedrich Hamann, you are hereby arrested for spreading anti-Soviet propaganda and for crimes against the people." The pastor's face didn't even twitch. It didn't matter what the charges were. The verdict was inevitable. He was an influential man in a community where people refused to give up their property despite the threat of dispossession and their horrendous taxes everyone was forced to pay. That was more than enough to attract the displeasure of the authorities, who didn't care that anything owned by the people here came from hard work and stubborn perseverance on a daily basis. "I did not commit these crimes," Friedrich said calmly. "I am a man of God." "You're a disgrace," the man on the left said, and punched him in the stomach. "There is no place for people like you in the New World Order." His comrades grinned. "I'll come with you if I must." Anna bit her lip to stop herself from sobbing out loud. Friedrich was her best friend's husband. Bertha had died barely a year ago.